What's up, everybody? What's going on? Today we are talking about a fun topic, which is one that can actually create a lot of noise when you talk about it, and that's how to deal with somebody that's a high performer that has poor culture. This is something that I've witnessed multiple times in my career. Been a part of teams, led teams that have dealt with it, all of the above, and it is very. Trying to think of the word. It's very polarizing. It's a very polarizing topic because a lot of people are like, they get the job done, just let them be. But as somebody that has seen a lot of bad cultures, a lot of good cultures, and everywhere in between, culture is tantamount. Like that is the end all be all of your ability to succeed over time, is the culture you build. So it's probably not going to be a major surprise now that I said that, but if you have a high performer that's poor culture, it's probably a good idea to just, hey, obviously give them a shot to grow and change and evolve. But if that doesn't happen and they're just like, no, that's just who I am, like, okay, cool, time for you to be yourself somewhere else. And that's, that a lot of people are like, I can't believe you do that to a high performer, blah blah blah. Like they clearly deliver, and they do. But the bigger issue is the kind of longer term effects that somebody like that can have on a team and a group, and ultimately it will only lead to bad things. You might get a lot of work done, but at the end of the day, you're going to have a team full of people that have either already left or starting to kind of act the same way, which makes the culture even worse, or you'll have a situation where you actually have to exit other people because they're starting to act that way, but they're not as good at performers, and it very much gets into a very messy situation. If you look back at Simon Sinek did a presentation where he talks about the Navy SEALs and like, hey, they're one of the most productive people development groups in the world. They create some of the most highly trained people. How do they do that? What do they look for? He drew a graph, and it's like, trust and effectiveness, I think, are the two. And he basically said, nobody wants the low effective, low trust. Nobody wants that. Obviously, easy. Everyone wants the high trust, high effectiveness. Want that. What's interesting is the people that the Navy SEALs didn't want versus the people that they would prefer that were not in either of these buckets was somebody that was highly efficient but low trust. They would prefer to have somebody that was low to mid efficient and high trust, as opposed to somebody that was high trust and low I nailed that, high efficiency and low trust. So basically the Navy SEALs are saying, listen, we can train the crap out of effectiveness. We cannot train the crap out of trust. If you're not a trustworthy person, you're just not a trustworthy person. That comes back to like culture. If somebody is just not a culture fit, you can't train that. Like, you can try, you can give them opportunities. Some people can and will, but a lot of people that are kind of that culturally impactful in a negative way are usually just kind of that's who I am. I just don't like to be I don't like to be around people. I don't like to talk to people. I don't like to build relationships. I just want to be here, collect my check, and go. And yes, I do a great job, but I just don't want to be part of the culture. And it's like, there are people that abstain and just kind of do their thing, and that's fine. But it's the people that are negative, the people that are rude, short, they hoard information, they're not collaborative, they make people feel bad, they make people feel not good enough. All those things are negative things that will hurt your team in the long run. And if you don't check those quickly, it will fester. When things fester, like I said, people leave. People stay, but they become apathetic and they become worse at their job. People end up kind of molding to that mindset, and now you have a team of a bunch of people that don't want to work together, that hoard information, and ultimately spells the downfall of your team and or product and or company, depending on how big you are. So it is not fun to say like, hey, somebody that crushes it but is terrible from a culture perspective should just go. But that's ultimately the best way to protect your team, protect your product, and protect your ability to deliver over a long period of time. So yeah, it's that direct, it's that simple. It's obviously not that simple because you're also excuse me, coming back to another episode we did recently, which is Perception is 9/10 Reality. It's a lot. It's a lot of information to balance out, because you're going to have people who are like, this person's a rock star because they they're delivering like crazy, and it's like, cool, but nobody likes working with them. And they're like, no, but they deliver a lot. And you're like, I think we need to let them go. And they're like, what are you talking about? This is our top deliverer. And it's like, yes, that's true, but they are killing our culture. And they're like, well, but we got this big project and you're taking away our, a huge resource. And that's, it's a battle you're going to have at some point, because it's never fun to cut somebody that is high performing, especially when you're talking to your leaders in other parts of the departments that also see what they bring from a delivery perspective, but miss what they don't bring from a culture perspective. So yeah, it's not easy. Being a leader isn't easy. Leading things is difficult, and making those tough calls is not fun, but it's necessary. So you got this. You can do this. Best of luck. Hope this is helpful. If you have any questions or more thoughts on this, because I know it's very polarizing, please comments, DMs, hit me up at jason@leadfromhere.co. All of the above. If you like what you're hearing, subscribe, like whatever it is on this platform that you're watching us on. Appreciate it. It means a lot. Take care, everybody.